So guys, as we mentioned before, the important thing of to have everything in centralized in one place. For example, for our workflow or the transition between Cinema 4D and Houdini, we prepare this page in Notion with all the aspects, all the technical detail we need to add in the main scene from Houdini. See the all the aspect, the camera, the object context, the render settings, everything, the render tokens. For example, I can show you here. This is our main scene for Cinema 4D. This is the new scene we can set up for our workflow. We started using a basic geometry, a basic light rig, a dome light, aero light, a camera with the redshift tag, a null with the focus target. Also, we added a render setting options. We some main render setting for different things. For example, if we have to do a quick animation preview of the render, we can use those settings. If we are using a filmic space color, we can use these filmic render settings. Mainly we use the ACES because now we are using ACES color space. So if we can set everything. For example, if for the UV, we can set all the UV were common use in our workflow. For example, you can take this take advantage of this and set up everything for once. And yeah, another thing, for the transition part between Cinema 4D and Houdini is we set everything right now in Houdini. We did the same thing as we see in Cinema 4D. Also, if you set the example scene, you have to, if you like to load this scene every time you open your Cinema 4D, you can set your scene, set everything as I show you, and work as a new file in your program file. Maxon Cinema 4D, you work like a new a scene, and always you can open your Cinema 4D, always show up this new scene. The same goes for Houdini. We prepare a scene for Houdini. On the only thing, we have to merge this scene every time we need it. We have I have it here in this quick access for this. I have this. We have this in our database of things. And yeah, we open this scene as a new one, and we have everything as we show you in the Cinema 4D. We have a basic geometry, we had a very basic light system, and a couple of camera with a rig. I can show you later. So let me show you this rig we create for Houdini. In Cinema 4D we have this very handy composition guides, rulers in our viewport. We can activate those here in the camera. When you create a camera, you can go this tab and the composition tag and activate the grid, and you have the rule of dirt. You have maybe can add some triangles or diagonals, lines. These things we can create to balance the composition, and very useful. Inside of Houdini, we did a maybe similar things, a rig we create. This rig is available in a Gumroad page. I can write here die composition guides, and this is allows you to add the guides for the composition in our viewport. If you have if I let's have to say I have this camera and I want to create the rigs for the camera, I can I select the null from the rig we made and add the camera, and you have the everything show up here. Let me turn off this, and yeah, you have that. You have you can change the guide's color. You can add more cells, add diamonds for your composition, add diagonal rows, columns. We can add more columns if you need it. Crosshair, for example. Let me turn off the other ones, and you can see the center of your composition. Yeah, it's very useful to have this here right now in Houdini with this very handy rig we did. And another thing we can show you, another tip we create inside of Houdini is a focal point system. Like I mentioned before, we set this focus target here in Cinema 4D, and we have the same thing inside of Houdini. For example, let me delete this and create from scratch. If I find this dyne focal point, also they have available in our Gumroad page. Yeah, here you have a null object. It has very few options here. Once you the first thing you have to do is add the camera section, and is work in two ways. You can work with your Redshift camera, enable the profile options, or you can use the Houdini camera focus stop. So if I go to, so you have to copy the parameter of the rig of the focal distance, right click, copy parameter, go to your camera, go to focus distance and paste as a relative reference. Yeah, and yeah, for this example I'm gonna use the profile of the Redshift and see what's going what is my result in the render view. Okay, so it takes have a lot of depth of field, and me have to, yeah, this is the camera tree. I'm going to the see if I, yeah, and you in your viewport you have the focal point object. You can move wherever you want. And yeah, this is one method. The other method you have is you want to use the Houdini camera focus. You can check this, and in the sample area you have to copy parameter of the focus distance rig. It's the same, goes here, copy parameter, go over there in the focus distance of the camera, paste as a relative reference, and you're going to yeah, and your sampling. You can load your f-stops to get more depth of field. I think maybe 0.25 25. And yeah, you can see always right now the depth of field. Maybe if I lower this number a little much more, yeah, you can see that. This is the two methods to use this rig. It's very handy to have this immediately in a rig. It saves a lot of time. And yeah, you can find it in the Gumroad page.